Hey, welcome to the recap of today's episode. We are going to cover the series Heavenly Swords Grand Saga. Hope you enjoy and stay tuned. The story is about certain people in the world who believe they have been chosen by the heavens. The world has been in chaos and strife for those people for decades, but someone was going to change that for the betterment of everyone in the world. He is supposed to have 6 masters altogether, but at first, he has to go through metamorphosis to achieve his prolonged target. Somewhere in this world, people walking and hanging around felt like an earthquake was happening. A woman in front of a palace felt like some kind of sound was coming from inside of it. When she asked the escort in front of the palace, he said it was his young master. You, young walker. Even though it sounded unbelievable, the proof was in front of her. The young master is a huge, fat kid, but he is trying to get better, which causes him a lot of mental and physical pain. His real name is Jin Wigum, who has returned to the past to save Muram. The reason behind his return is that in the near future, Muram is supposed to fall into chaos. The birth of the Minion of Chaos united the unorthodox Muram, which painted the central plane in blood. Even though all the sects worked together to fight him, nothing worked. In the end, uniting the Muram is the most difficult task to do, and that's what makes him impressive. Wigun lost his parents because of the chaos created by uniting the Muram and lived his life like someone useless. But he thought it would get better after meeting his masters, but he was wrong. Technically, they trained him however they could to get him better than the Minion of Chaos, but he had to go back in the past because of the plan made by his masters. It ended up in a fat body that doesn't even let him walk, while he should be training. Instead, someone, the father of Yu Yun and the imperial physician, is confused about what to do to get Yu Yun better. While Yu Yun keeps thinking about the Minion of Chaos and martial arts, he has to get better within 6 months to be able to beat the Minion of Chaos. The father of Union is always worried about his son's well-being because he loves him so much. When Yen asks to go on a stroll, his father brings out a 4-man sedan chair for him, but he wants to walk with his own legs. His father gets teared up since he is walking for the first time in life after turning 10 years old. Not only him, but all the people inside the palace are also watching him with curiosity. Yun walked like crazy for half a month, but there was no major change whatsoever, which made him confused and tense at the same time. He got into thinking about what could be the name of the Minion of Chaos, even though his masters repeatedly made him remember the Minion's details, but he forgot them anyways. The man of the house, who is in charge of looking after Yun, tells him that he needs to change his diet and cut out sugar to keep fat in check. Besides taking protein-filled food, exercises should be done daily to get better every day. Yun fantasizes about what if he finds the virgin ginseng before the Minion of Chaos. He believes that when the time comes, everything will be fine since he already has it all planned. The escort thinks he has lost his mind and calls the physician. After thinking for a while, they decide that the idea of using water's buoyancy will be a better way of exercising, but when he tries to get into the water, he falls down deep inside the water. While the escort is thinking that his master has got a natural talent in becoming a seaman, one of the carriers says that he might have fallen deep inside the water. After falling deep down and hitting the ground inside the water, he dreams about Yun's past. There was a woman who was his mother, who died while saving his life. The escort doesn't know how to swim, which makes him more worried about his master. All of a sudden, a girl can be seen carrying Yun's body above the water, which saves his life. Back at the palace, Yun's father is furious at the physician and the escort because of their carelessness. They both shift blame at each other while the older sister of Yu Yun, Yu Jungi, arrives at the scene. The father of Yu Yun and the physician both blame themselves for the current state of Union. Yun's sister suggests that there are better places other than the stream for swimming. Yun's companion arrived in his room and helped him up from the bed. The strength of his sister's companion was impressive. Yun was taken to a place where hundreds of men were preparing a swimming pool for him, so he wouldn't have to go to the stream anymore. He asked what his father did to the escort, and he explained that his father was a great scholar and symbol of integrity who was kind to everyone and respected by all. Yun started preparing for his training underwater, which included the spirit energy heart cultivation technique invented by his previous life's masters. This is how Yun began to get ready for the Minion of Chaos. The improvement and performance of Yun shocked his escort Huang Chong, as he had never seen his young master motivated like this. Finally, Yun had lost a good amount of weight, which made them both happy. While thinking about the virgin ginseng, the physician uncle came with some food containing spirit energy, which Yun absorbed through meditation. By keeping a strict routine and eating food with spirit energy, Yun kept getting better. 2 months later, his hand techniques had improved so much that everyone noticed. While the escort was talking and calling the young master pig, he was heard by his father, who then locked him up. Seeing the growing passion of martial arts in his son, Yun's father sent a letter to the imperial palace for the secret martial art manual. He also arranged for his son's martial arts teacher to be Dam Chun-woo, his son-in-law. Yu Junggi's husband claimed that their clan was the best in martial arts in the whole Hubei province. But Yun understood that it was far from the truth. Yun wants to talk to his father and everyone about his real identity, but realizing that it could do more damage than recovery, he held himself back from that thought. Yun plans on lying about his martial arts knowledge if someone asks him about it in the future. Dam Chun-woo starts Yun in his training with some basic movements that only make Yun more annoyed. Yun realizes that playing along with his brother-in-law might be harder than he thought. After thinking about it, Yun challenges his brother-in-law in a sparring session using the 6-combination fist technique. Yun wins the challenge, which surprises his brother-in-law since it was unexpected from a person like Yun. The escort Huang Chong can be seen dozing off while being on guard duty as he was punished to be on guard after calling Yun a haughty pig. Yun comes in front of him and pokes him as he is being punished by his father and says that Dam Chun-woo is in no state to train him anymore today. Dam Chun-woo tells his wife that Yun has suppressed him with his martial arts skills, and it makes her happier than ever. But something is going to happen in the bigger SEC Damping Prefecture. Yun goes outside to the market walking on his own, which makes him feel content since he has never seen people laugh in his previous life. He promises to himself that he will save the world this time. The people are excited to see him outside walking on his own without any help. They come close to him one by one and start giving him various gifts. While receiving gifts, he notices someone's energy. After getting close to the man, Yun says hello to him, which startles the man and he throws a punch at Yun. He faints for a short moment and wakes up feeling angry at the man who hit him so hard. The man has already gotten far away, and Yun's whole body hurts because of the hit. He realizes that he has to focus on losing weight and gathering critical information. He intends to visit the beggar's den to find more information about the virgin ginseng. Yun's father is happy about his recent performances and everything related to him. He thinks that his son will become an almighty general someday, but Yun's older sister suggests that it will be better to take it slow. In time, things have gone worse since the Nam-gun clan rejected their marriage proposal. But not only that, Yun's father still blames him for his wife's death since the assassins were after him and not her. Nam-gun clan patriarch Nam-gun Hansu is present with his son in the Amping prefecture to find more information about Yun. They can reject the marriage proposal for good this time. Yun goes on a stroll to the beggar SEC roads, but he is truly surprised since he can see no beggars in the whole area. A man in that area reveals that the beggars ceased to exist for 20 years since Yun's father, the patriarch, made houses for the vagrants and even gave them farms for tenant farming. Yun thinks that if there are no beggars in this area, there may not be a bigger sect branch, but they are supposed to be everywhere. Nam-gun Hansu can be seen having a secret conversation with the Amping Prefecture beggar SEC branch leader while having tea with him. The leader, Oh Yian, is hesitant to reveal information about Yun since he doesn't have permission from the main branch. Nam-gun Hansu starts to put heavy bribes on the table for the branch leader, but not only that, he is even ready to give his emperor a ring to him, which shocks his son. After getting information from the man, Yun reaches the beggar's den looking for the information he needed. While entering the den, Yun is disrespected by the guard, which makes him really furious. Nam-gun Hansu is ready to give the branch leader his clan's protection, which seems like a great desperation to the leader. He wonders if Hansu really hates him that much. Oh Yian gives Hansu the whole diary of information containing about Yun up until yesterday. Nam-gun Hansu's son realizes that it is noisy outside the den, and when he looks over through the windows, he sees Yun fighting with the guard of Nam-gun clan. Yun mocks the guard for his skills and fighting techniques for being lousy. Yun calls him a Nam-gun clan bastard and says if he apologizes to him, he will forgive him for one time. By hearing the disrespect of his own clan from Yian's mouth, the guard gets even more furious and tries to stab Yun with his sword. Seeing this, Yun gets so mad that he starts beating him uncontrollably. The son of Hansu jumps from the window to attack Yun and protect his own man. The whole thing seems familiar to Yun. While he gets attacked by the clan patriarch's son with his exploding lightning mystic fist technique, Yun realizes that the punch can be too much for his current body to take. In that case, he tries to swirl the rotation in the opposite direction while trying to offset the momentum. Nam-gun Hansu sees the whole commotion from the windows and shouts at them. Yun realizes that the power of his fist is being reduced, and in those few seconds, he sees something that distracts him. While fighting with Nam-gun Hansu's son Sung-yu, Yun had flashbacks of his previous life with one of his masters training him to get better at his fighting and sword skills. It seems that Sung was the man who was one of Yun's masters who trained him, and Yung was his disciple. The power of Sung's fist got dispersed by Yun's technique, but he couldn't hold on since his new body isn't that fit for fighting. Yun faints for the 1863rd time, and the physician was called for him. After seeing Yun unconscious, the branch leader runs to him to ask who did that to him, while Nam Gunhansu realizes he doesn't need the information diary about Yun anymore. Meanwhile, Yun's father is furious at the beggar sect and Nam Gun clan for their actions against his son. The leader of the beggar sect shifts the blame onto Nam Gun clan alone. Yun's father threatens Hansu and his son for their hasty actions towards his only son. He initially planned to go to the imperial palace with both of them kneeling before him, but the arrival of his son stopped that occasion. Yun comes to them with his newly styled hair by Sojin, which is praised by everyone. Yun calls the Nam Gun clan leader his big brother to tease him, as they are technically sworn brothers by clan. Yun tells his father not to contact the emperor with this information, as it may sound silly to him. He then teases Sung by calling him his nephew while squeezing his cheeks. In reality, Hung missed his master sword king Nam Gun Sung, who was one of the orthodox saints. Yung gets emotional and cries at the end of the interaction. During the meeting with everyone at the table, Yung announces that he wants to avoid marriage and step into the Murim for people. After that announcement, Hansu wanted to say something, but Yin avoids it by taking his leave and calling the beggar sect branch leader for the information he wants from him. The branch leader, Oyin, praises Yun for his new hairstyle and expresses that he must be loved by all his family members. Yun says that he is interested in knowing about the uprising martial artists, the 6 of his masters. He actually wants to find all of them and make them go through what he himself experienced in their hands. Yun reveals that the Murim has already been divided into orthodox, unorthodox, and demonic sections, but they are only surviving for now. Yun knows that it is about to change in the near future. He goes to his private pool to start his training once again, despite the fact that he fainted just yesterday. The escort, Hoang Chong, and Yun's older sister are both concerned about his well-being and do not want him to train right now. It looks like Hoang Chong gets confused when the companion of Yun's sister is around him. Yun's sister is really concerned about his decision to step into the mirror, but she gets hopeful when Yun himself tells her not to be afraid. The affectionate sister's love touches Yun, which makes him remember what having a family truly feels like. After training again and again, Yun has changed his body, which makes his skin retract on its own. He wants to go to the Anhui province, but his father is concerned about his well-being. He also wants to visit the Nam Gun clan to start training Sung, but he had to make an excuse to his father to visit their clan. Yun wanted to go solo for the travel, but his father has arranged so much for him for the upcoming travel, which gets him off guard. He made the whole escort squad ready for his travel to Onu province to get rid of Hoang Chong from the travel. Yin plans some mischief to play with him. Yun called Hoang inside the house for a drinking session and wanted to travel tomorrow to use the energy-dispersing poison on him that will give him a chance to leave the palace. Meanwhile, the older sister of his knew something like this will happen, and he will go off alone at night. She bids her brother farewell and tells him to come back safe at home. His sister gave him a lightning steed that was bestowed by the emperor to the Yu family for his travel. Yun then rides the horse instantly and leaves for the Anhui province. In the morning, he finally reaches the territory of Nam Gun clan and eats food to gather spirit energy. On the other hand, virgin ginseng was finally found in the Anhui province. Yun gets surrounded by the people around the area because of his suspicious looks with the face bandages. He then introduces himself in his real name from a previous life, Jin Wigum. He says he is here to look for something for the former imperial military advisor Yu Sungwen's son to consume. The people started talking about a boulder in Wangshen that emits crimson lights, and one old guy from them says that it is in a place deep within Wangshen known as Pagoda P, but he was warned by one of the locals since that's where the Nine Dragons fortress is. Nine Dragons is a group of mountain bandits that are known for their martial arts skills and viciousness. After insisting, the old man agrees to take Yun to see Pagoda Pete, but in return, he wants Yun to promise that they will return if things don't seem right. Yun finally sees the crimson light with his own eyes and wants the old man to move away from the place since it will be dangerous with all the bandits. Yun gifts one of his precious pieces of jewelry to the man as payment for his gratitude. Yun drops into the stream and travels to the Nine Dragon Fortress by swimming. He overhears some guards talking about captured people from Jijing prophets, but he moves on to his main goal to keep that for later. He sees that a man is beating and abusing a woman and a child. Yun wants to protect them but remembers what his master said, and he doesn't want to get involved, which tears him down in a bad way. Yoon couldn't be so heartless and keep watching the misdeeds happening in front of him while the old man was going to touch the kid. Yoon charges himself onto the man and knocks him out. The woman and the child are both thankful to him, and it looks like she is from the group of people that the bandits captured from Jijing Prophets. The woman leads him into the house where the bandits have captured and taken them. When one guard was coming outside by hearing the commotion, Yoon knocked him out as well and kept their bodies inside a shed. The shed revealed that there must be 50 of the bandits altogether, which was more than Yoon had expected. Yoon made a plan with the woman he has saved some moments ago to fight against the bandits and rescue the trapped people. Yoon notices someone guarding the watchtower, which he then punches away. Under the mountain along with the man inside it, the woman he saved was told to lead the whole group of people to rescue them while Yoon started burning all the sheds around that area. The smell of fire seemed to be waking up all the bandits inside the fortress. Jin then goes on a rampage attacking the bandits by himself. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video, but until then, stay tuned for the next one. Peace.